Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel, Victoria W. Yoga. We are going to start this Hatha flow today, focused on forward folds, getting into our hips. So go ahead and come to a seat on your mat, and you can sit on a bolster or on a block or on a blanket or hips directly on your mat, whatever feels comfortable. And take some time to settle into your seat. Shift around as you need and come to center, hands in front of your heart, focusing on your breath. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. And if you like to set intentions in your practice, you can do that here. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Deep inhale, reach up, long through the arms, through the fingers. Exhale, hands to your heart. And one more time. Inhale, reach up, really stretch through the arms. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. And we're going to go ahead and get started with a Baddha Konasana, or a diamond shape or butterfly legs. Find a tall posture, seated with your soles of your feet together, knees out to the sides. And if you have a hard time with sitting up straight, you can bring the hands back behind you as a support and then press the chest forward, working to drop the shoulders down the spine. And you can stay in this supported position as long as you like, or if you feel comfortable sitting up tall on your seat in the center without that support, you can reach the arms up overhead and exhale, forward fold. So we're focusing on opening up the hips, relaxing the inner thighs, and we're going to try to do this with a straight back. So anywhere in that range is okay. Make sure this feels comfortable in your body. Move around, stretch out the hips, stretch out the sides of the back, and then circle the left arm up into the ceiling and back down to the floor. And other side, circle the right arm around. And other side, you can do that a couple times, or you can stay reaching forward. We're going to open the hip now. Place the left hand on the left knee and stretch out the left hip. And I'm going to show a couple of positions here. So you can do that leaning forward or seated up or sitting back. All different movements. Find what feels good to you. Leveraging the thigh away from the hip bone. And other side, you can lean forward and place the right hand to the right knee, right thigh, and leverage the body away from the thigh. You can also do this seated, sitting up tall in the center, or leaning back, twisting away from the right thigh. And you'll notice different stretches at each point. Extend the legs long in front of you for your wide-legged forward fold. And you can do the same thing. Support yourself with your hands behind you to straighten the back, or reach forward, bending out of the hips, pressing the belly towards the top of the thigh or towards the mat. Hands can come down to the floor to support you. They can come to your legs. They can come to your feet. And then actively work on lengthening out through your heels, pressing the knees down towards the floor. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, sink. Feel the spine stretch out. Feel the hips stretch out. Take your time to move and adjust the body as you need. And exhale, sit all the way up. And then bring the legs together, coming to our staff pose. And again, you can support yourself here if you're having a hard time straightening your back, or you can stay seated in the center and practice this flexibility here. And then we're going to lift one leg, engage the thigh, and other side. Kick out through the right heel, engage the thigh, lift the leg, release. 2 more times on each side, up through the left and down, up through the right. Keep the spine really straight, pull the belly in towards the center, down, and 1 more time, lifting up through the left leg and down and up through the right and down. And you can stay seated here in the center. If you'd like, you can practice more leg lifts, or you can forward fold, extending forward. Hands come to the floor to support you when you no longer can keep the back straight. And work on keeping the back as straight as you can for as long as you can. Pressing the belly towards the top of the thighs, reaching the heart towards the knees, forehead towards the toes. Continue to breathe here, in and out through the nose. Feel the breath expand through the low back, through your hips, and exhale, sit all the way up. And we're going to move to a toe squat, so you can send your legs to the side or you can bring your feet in and push the body up, coming to balance on the toes, bringing the inner thighs together, knees together, pull the belly in, find your balance in the center, hands together in front of your heart, and we're going to press up to standing. So engage the body and press down through the toes, coming all the way up to balance on the toes, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, lower the heels, hands to your heart. And we're going to practice our standing poses here. So root down through the right foot and then come onto your left toes. As you exhale, lift the left knee in towards the body, engage the core, tuck the tailbone, and then extend out through the left heel, lengthening the leg as much as you can. You can bind under the thigh, or you can grab the ankle, or you can reach for your toes. Aim for the bind. That will help you stand up straight. You can also let the left leg stay free. Continue to breathe here, extending through the heel, and then as you exhale, open the left leg out to the side. Keep your left hip right next to your right hip. Keep the inner thighs engaged, rooting down through your right foot, and then bring it back to the center. Right hand to the outside of the left leg, left hand to the hip, and you can move your hand anywhere between your knee and your foot. Reach the left arm out behind you. You can also let the left leg stay bent here as you work on twisting and balancing. We're working a lot on twisting, balancing, and lengthening through the hamstrings, and sometimes one of those elements has to kind of be given up, and that's okay. So do your best, find your range, and release out, coming back to the center. Tree pose. Tree pose here. Bring the left foot into the right ankle, and you can keep that foot on the floor to practice the balance, or you can lift the foot to the calf, or you can lift the foot up and over the knee into the inner top thigh. Press your left foot into the right leg wherever you are. If you'd like, you can reach the arms up overhead or bring your hands to the heart. They can also rest by your sides. And if you'd really like to challenge the balance, you can close your eyes. As you exhale, move to your standing pigeon, bringing the outside of the left ankle to the top of the right knee and sit back. Hands can stay in front of your heart, or you can bring the hands to the shin as you sit further back, relaxing the shoulders as much as you can. You can even bring the elbows to the shin, sitting even further back, or hands to the floor. Maybe even forward fold. Lengthen the right leg and bow down over the legs, relaxing the head, releasing the neck. As you exhale, release your left foot down. Inhale, reach all the way up, round through the spine, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay, we're going to do the other side, and rooting down through the left leg, we're going to lift up onto the right toes. As you exhale, knee moves into the body. Flex through the foot, flex through the heel. Exhale, kick out through your right leg. Lengthen that leg in front of you. And you can do this free, or you can bind. Hands under the thighs, or to the ankle, or to the toes. Find the bind that works best for you here. Inhale. And as you exhale, send the right leg out to the side, keeping the leg as straight as you can. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. You can also reach the left arm out to the side to balance, or keep it on the hip. As you exhale, bring that leg back to center. And you're going to switch the grip of the hand. So the left hand is going to come to the outside of the right leg. Right hand comes to the hip. And your left hand can be anywhere from your knee all the way to your foot on the right leg. And work on that twist. Maybe the leg is straight, maybe not. Don't worry about it too much. Really focus on the twist, focus on the balance, and getting as much length out of the legs as you can. As you exhale, lower the right foot down to the floor. Moving into tree pose on the side, rooting down one more time through the left foot, and bring the right sole of the foot into the left ankle, right knee out to the side, so you're opening through that inner thigh. The foot can stay in the ankle or to the calf or all the way up to the top of the inner thigh. Hands can come together in front of your heart or to your hips, out to the side or up overhead. Rooting down through that right leg the whole time. And as you exhale, bring the right foot to the left knee for your standing pigeon pose. Taking the bind with the hands if you like, or with the elbows, sitting back as far as is comfortable. Maybe the hands reach to the floor and you lengthen through the left leg, folding the body over the pigeon or the figure four. Inhale. As you exhale, release the right foot down. Inhale. Exhale, round through the spine, reach the arms up overhead, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back to your plank pose. Knees up or down for your chaturanga, elbows moving into the rib cage. Exhale, downward dog. Find your downward dog here. Take a moment. And then walk out the dog, bending one knee and then the next, lengthening the opposite heel to the floor. Take your time here to stretch out the hamstrings, press the hips up into the ceiling. Connect to your breath. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, pull the knee to chest, step the foot through. We're moving to our pyramid pose. So we're going to press both heels down and lengthen both legs long. So both legs should be straight. No matter what your flexibility range is, straighten both legs. And that means you can stand all the way up, or you can come to blocks, or you can fold all the way over the leg. And with the blocks, you can use the support of any height of your blocks. So play with what height is good. Or if you have the space, you can remove the blocks and fold over the front left leg, pulling the hips in line with each other. And then as you exhale, pull the right heel in, point the toes out, and pull the right hip back behind the left hip. You should feel that stretch through the outside of the right body. You can also play with where the hips sit in triangle pose. You can push the left hip back and rotate the right hip forward, or you can pull the right hip back over the left hip and notice the differences. You see me make that little adjustment. Exhale back to your pyramid pose, re-straighten the body over the left leg, pull that right hip forward, and then grab your blocks again as we practice revolve triangle. Bring the left hand to the left hip and begin to pull the belly button in towards the inner left thigh. Aligning your shoulders over one another, reach the left arm up if you have the space. If this twist is too tight, you can keep the left hand on the left hip and just work on rotating through the torso. It's a lot of work, so take your time and take deep breaths. Engage the feet down into the floor. You can also play with the levels of your blocks for how low down you go on your right hand. You can even reach the right hand over to the other side of the left foot if that's available to you. When you're ready, come out, both hands down. And as you exhale, move to your warrior three, lifting up off your right leg and align the torso with the back leg. So you're one long line from your heel to your head, inner thighs working together. Reach out through your fingertips. And exhale, hands to the floor. Lift the right heel up, vertical splits. Big stretch through the hamstrings. Listen to the body and move with the breath here, lifting up through the right leg and lengthening through the torso. Relax the head and the neck. Step the right foot down. Step your feet as wide as your mat or a little bit wider. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, dropping the crown of the head down towards the floor for your wide-legged forward fold. Bend the knees as much as you like or straighten the legs. Maybe grab onto the ankles. And then root the right hand down into the mat underneath your right shoulder and twist through the torso to stretch to the left side. Other side, left hand down to the floor, reach the right arm up and twist through the torso, pressing the hips back evenly behind you, feet equally rooted down. Release the right hand. Inhale, stand all the way up. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back to your plank and chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Lift the hips up, straighten the back. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, step it through to the top of your mat. Other side for your pyramid pose. Inhale, halfway lift, pull the right hip back, left hip forward, and you can stand all the way up to find your straight legs. And then exhale, hinge from the hips, push the hips back behind you. Use the blocks to support you when you find the spot where your back doesn't want to stay straight, when either your legs or your back are being compromised. And find that support for both a straight back and straight legs. Using your top, your middle, or your low setting on your block, maybe even bringing the hands to the floor and folding over the right leg. Don't let yourself get competitive with this. Stay where it feels good in your body, where you can stay stable. And we're going to transition to triangle pose. So as you exhale, pull that left heel back, pointing the left toes out to the side. Stack your left hip behind the right. And you can stay there, or you can practice pushing the right hip back to the back of your mat and pulling the left hip forward. So you're getting more of a twist through the low torso. Play with what feels good here. Relax the neck. Reach up through the left fingertips. As you exhale, rotate back down. Point the left toes forward. Pyramid pose one more time. Take your time to use the blocks to adjust and then to move into our revolved triangle. So keeping the feet where they are for pyramid, really pull the belly in towards the inner right thigh. You'll feel that left hip pull forward. And feel the torso rotate forward like you're moving like a screw forward to the top of your mat, rotating through the spine. Push the chest out to the right side. Stack the shoulders one over the other. You'll really need to pay attention to balance here, focusing on how the feet feel in your mat and how you're carrying the weight between your two legs as you push the weight forward. You see me fall a little bit. I touched the wall. That's okay. That's super normal. Maybe the hand stays on the block on the left side, or maybe the hand moves to the block on the right, or maybe even to the floor on the right. When you're done, exhale, release back to pyramid to transition to warrior 3. Lift your left leg up, back behind you. If you fall, you just get right back into it. Reach the arms forward in front of you, engage the inner thighs. Exhale, hands to the floor, lift that left heel up into the ceiling, vertical splits. Reach through the legs. Feel the spine release, head moving down towards the floor. Exhale, step the left foot back down and widen the legs one more time, at least the width of your mat, for your wide-legged forward fold again. And this time I'm showing the variation with the shoulder opener. So hands can bind above you and then extend the arms long overhead. You can bend the knees or keep the legs straight here as you relax the head down to the floor. Release the arms. Hands to the floor. Walk the heels in for yogi squat. Sit the hips down towards the floor in between the heels. And you can always sit on the blocks or on your bolster for support. If you'd like, you can take a twist here, reaching the right arm down towards the floor, left arm up into the ceiling. Maybe your arms bind, maybe they don't. Take whatever variation feels good, relaxing the neck. Hands together in front of your heart one more time. And then exhale, left hand down towards the floor, reach the right arm up. The arms can stay elongated like that, or you can practice a bind. Relax the neck, relax the shoulders. One more time, inhale back to the center. Exhale, hands to the floor. And step your right foot back, bending the left knee forward, hands on the inside of your left foot. Release the right knee down to the floor. I'm going to play with a lot of lizard variations here. So if you know exactly what your body wants already, just go for it. Otherwise, you can play with rolling onto the outside of your left foot here, pushing into the knee, getting that nice inner thigh, inner hip stretch, extending through the ankle. Or you can return the left foot down, maybe reach back with the left hand for the right foot. Get that nice right thigh stretch, maybe even opening up through that left shoulder, or lean forward. You can even reach back with the right hand to grab the right foot. This is a little bit more of a balancing pose, but you're stretching out through the right side of the body. Here I'm doing some nice twists through the torso. Take what feels good. Maybe you even release down onto the elbows, getting a much deeper stretch between the hip flexors. And we're going to do a little bit of binding. Stick your left arm underneath the left leg. You see me stretching my right leg back behind me, and I'm tucking the head behind the left heel. I know we're getting a little crazy. These are just all variations that are available to you. So stay in the range that feels really, really good, allows you to breathe, but also feels like a great stretch. When you're done, send the left leg back and relax the body down into the mat. Just breathe. Enjoy being here. Press the hands down into the floor. Exhale, downward dog. Gonna do the other side. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, step it through to the top of your mat on the outside of your right hand and drop your left knee down. Adjust your pants as you need. Sink the hips forward. And we're going to take all the variations that we took on the other side. So you can bring the right hand to the right hip. Rolling on to the right ankle. Feeling that stretch on the inside of the hip. You even see me doing a little bit of rolling back and forth. That would not have felt good on my other side because of an injury. So listen to the sides of your body because it'll be different, and that's okay. You can even reach back, grab the left foot, maybe pull it in or stretch out through the arm by pushing into the hand with the foot. Relax the neck, relax the chest. Maybe you reach back with the left hand. Maybe even take some arm circles or twist into the right foot, lifting the right arm. And if you like, you can bring the elbows down onto the floor for an even deeper stretch here. Take your time for what feels good. And I'm going to show that really deep variation again here, really reaching my left leg back and binding the right arm underneath the leg, underneath the right leg, maybe even trying to send my head behind the right ankle. Deep breaths wherever you are. And when you're done, release the right leg back behind you, laying on the mat, listening to the body here. When you're ready, sitting up, bringing the hips to heels into your hero's pose. Send the legs to one side and take a seat. We're going to play with archer. So take your left leg and bring the left foot into the chest. You can also take a seated pigeon instead of that variation, or even a reclined pigeon coming onto the spine. For archer, we're going to warm up in that seated pigeon or the seated leg cradle. And you can totally skip archer if that's not in your practice or if you're not up for it today. So we can rock the leg back and forth, stretching out through that left hip, maybe even circling with the leg. And when you're ready, take the right hand and place it over top the left foot. Take your left hand and reach down through the center of the body. Bring the left hand to the leg and hike that leg up your arm. Try to pinch the leg onto the arm. If it slides down, that's super normal and that is totally fine. You just hike it back up as high as you can get it, as high towards the shoulder as you can. And pinch, try to keep that bind. Think about sitting back down on the left hip, Bring the left hand down towards the floor. Send your head between the arm and the leg. Look out towards the right side, away from the elongated leg, and then lengthen through your heel. You'll feel the hip lift up off the floor. That's totally normal and that's okay. And if you want to, you can try to sit the left hip back down onto the floor. It's going to change the structure of the pose. You're going to be leaning out with your leg a little bit more. That's fine. When you're ready, slowly lower down. Take a moment in the center, readjust, stretch out as you need. And we're going to try the other side. So we're going to bring that right leg either into a reclined pigeon, a seated pigeon, or cradle that leg into the chest. Remember, you want to keep the spine really straight here, as straight as you can. Deep breaths in and out. And circle the leg around. If you'd like, when you're ready, take the left hand and bring it up over the right foot, fingers towards the floor. Right hand is going to reach in between the leg and the arm towards the floor, and then use that hand to hike the right leg as high up the arm as you can, pinching the leg onto the arm to keep that height. If it slides down, just try again. It's okay. Look in between the arm and the leg and look out to the left side away from your lifted leg. Kick out through the heel. That hip probably came up off the floor, and that's fine. You can try to sit it back down. It'll change the structure of the pose. That's all right too. When you're ready, slowly lower the leg down. Rolling onto your spine. Rock from side to side here. Stretch out the sides of the back. Stretch out the sides of the body, the front of the body. Adjust as you need. And we're going to move into a shoulder stand. So you can do this with blocks, bringing the hips onto blocks. This is a supported shoulder stand. Lift the legs into the air up over the hips. And you can stay here as long as you like. If you'd like to take a more intensive version of shoulder stand, you're going to lift the hips up off the blocks, bring the hands to the spine, and roll onto the tops of the shoulders. Pull the belly in towards the spine, pull the inner thighs together, and lift the legs up into the ceiling. You can also move the blocks and move the arms down the mat to support you on the floor. As you exhale, lower one leg down, straight legs or bent knees into plow pose. Both legs moving down. Again, this can be with straight legs or your legs can be bent. Don't worry about that. Try to rest on the shoulders, relax the neck. If you'd like to, you can bend the knees into the ears for Pindasana. Maybe even wrap the arms around the legs. Really deep hip opener here. Really great spine stretch. You can even give yourself a little spinal massage, rubbing the fingers up and down the spinal column if that feels good. And when you're ready, you're going to slowly roll the spine down the mat, keeping the legs as long as you can to lower the hips down to the floor. Lift the legs up over the hips and then lower the feet towards the mat. Take a moment here to just let the spine rest, to find its neutral position. Maybe take a couple more twists, a couple more stretches. Breathing deeply. Take your time, find stillness on your mat. Press the heels down, pull the inner thighs together, lift the hips up into the ceiling bridge pose. This is our counter pose, our neutralizing pose. Bringing some strength into the glutes and removing that forward fold out of the spine. As you're ready, slowly release the hips back down to the floor and move into your corpse pose. Relaxing the legs far down the mat, relaxing the arms down the mat, and allow the body to rest here. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Let the body be heavy. As you're ready, coming up to your seat, eyes still closed. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take a moment to connect to any intention you may have set. Connect to your breath. One hand to belly, one hand to heart. Thank yourself for the work that you've done to open the body, to stretch, to breathe. Thank you so much for joining me here for this practice. Namaste. It is such a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for coming and joining me for yoga today. Please remember to like this video and subscribe so you can get all of my classes that come out, and I will see you soon.